The following presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, South Bay. The Holiday Inn Express is partnering with Channel 22 Sports to help promote our young people in sports competition and academics so that everyone in our community wins. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites. Stay smart. The following presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board is working together with Channel 22 Sports to promote an environment where everyone can maximize their career potential and so that all employers have the human resources they need to grow and prosper. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board. When you need us, we're there for you. The following presentation of the Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from Ralph's Food for Less, the nation's premier price impact supermarket chain. Food for Less is proud to be working with the community to enhance the lives of everyone by providing a diverse selection of products and customer service and by reaching out to support the communities in which we serve.
It's the Lawndale Hawthorne Community Television Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week, CIF Southern Section playoff style. Welcome everybody to the Division 3A playoffs round one, where the Lawndale Cardinals have come to visit the Cathedral Phantoms, and we're on a neutral site. Actually, it is the home of the Phantoms, but we're here in Downey at St. Matthias High School. Rufus, it's kind of an unusual situation for these Phantoms.
Well, it is for the Phantoms, although they've had to deal with it all season. They're having a new gym built on campus, along with some other buildings. For fans who don't know, their home school is up near Dodger Stadium, but they've been here before, so they know the court. Their coach says that this has been a learning experience for them, so they won't be bothered in the least bit by the fact that they've never played a game on their home court.
And the Lawndale Cardinals at 17-12 getting in as an at-large bid, even though they were at the bottom of the Pioneer Division, the Pioneer League, as the Phantoms came in at 18-12 and second place in the Camino Real League to Mary Star. Let's talk about the Cardinals a little bit, Charity Bailey. What are they going to bring to the court?
Well, tonight, Coach Acosta says that they're just going to bring their A game. He says defensively they're going to get up around the boards. He said they're going to have to play a lot of man-to-man. They played zone in the last two league games, but he said they're going back to man-to-man because that's where they're the most comfortable and that's where they control. He also said that in their league, they were controlled at the boards. He said they're smaller than everybody. And he says, yes, they're here in the playoffs. Most people did not expect them to be here, so he says they really don't have anything to lose. They're just going to come in and play their A game.
And Rufus, defensively, it brings another piece of the game.
It certainly does, and what we'll see from Cathedral is the fact that they will play man-to-man. They've indicated they'll also do a matchup zone and some full-court pressure. So the Lawndale ball handlers had better come ready. The other interesting thing that I found out, Lou, in my pregame preparation is that this is a tale of two teams going in opposite directions. Lawndale won 16 of their first 17 games. They've lost 9 of their last 10. On the other hand, Cathedral lost 10 of their first 13, but boy, they've won 11 of their last 13. So the Cardinals had better come prepared because this team certainly has been riding a winning wave.
And the only common opponent that they've had is Mary Star. Lawndale just got by Mary Star 51-49 on a three-point shot at the buzzer. Well, you heard the buzzer here. It's time for us to take our positions. Stay at your position. CIF basketball's coming up next on Channel 22. And we are back at St. Matthias High School, home of the Victorians, but this is also home court for Cathedral High's Phantoms as the starting lineups are being announced by the PA announcer here in this tiny, very intimate gym that might be able to hold 300 if they're lucky in here, right, Rufus?
Right. They sure are. This is a rather cramped and cozy facility is the positive spin that you would put on it.
All right, let's go over the Cardinals, actually the Phantom starting lineup. Henry Perez will be the point guard of this unit, wearing number 5, a 5'11 junior. Number 20, Charles Dixon, will be another guard, a 5'9 senior. Gabriel Villa, he is the leading scorer, a 6'1 senior. And the power forward, number 32, Ryan McLaughlin, a 6'3 senior. And in the middle, number 33, 6'4" junior Brian Baker. The Phantoms are coached by Sheldon McCorn in his second year. Lawndale Cardinals will start off this way. Number 24, Bryce Cartwright, will be the point guard. Number 10, Gerard Neely, will be the shooting guard. At the other guard position is number 5, Jonathan Torres. And Nick McCullough, number 34, will be the power forward. And number 40, Chris Wash, will be in the middle. Taking the jump will be Nick McCullough. Coach of the Cardinals, Alex Acosta, in his third year. We're just about ready to get underway in the 3A playoffs, and the tip is won by the Phantoms, and we're underway in Downey. Charles Dixon looks like he's going to run the point. There's been some injuries on this team. Gabriel Villa is sick.
Well, he's actually out there.
And he's injured, but yeah, he's out there. And also Ryan McLaughlin has a bit of this junk that's been going around that I've been trying to shake for about a month and a half.
And he's out there too. So here's what I think we were giving the old Washington, D.C. misdirection play.
Absolutely. Well, thank goodness nobody got some buckshot in the face from it, but the ball's bounced out of bounds. A new 35, actually a shot was missed, so a new 35. As that clock wound all the way down to about 6 seconds. So with the ball is Villa. It's off the mark, and back come the Cardinals with their first offensive try. Here comes Neely to lay it up and in and one. Gerard Neely, the leading scorer, gets them going for early.
And Neely attacks the basket, which is going to be important to the Lawndale effort here in the early going. The officials working tonight's contest are Bruce McCallum and Fred Starkey, both out of the South Orange County unit.
Well, how about, I thought Bruce looked a little bit from Mission Viejo. They just have a look about them, you know.
Of course, for both of these teams, what will happen is, and I'll develop this point a little bit later, is that you have two officials refereeing out of the area, and so teams are not familiar with these guys, and they'll have to adjust their game as it goes along.
Neely makes his free throw, so he completes the old-fashioned three-point play, and it's 3-0 early on in favor of the Cardinals. Ball is down low. Looks like we had a travel, and we did, as Ryan McLaughlin took a little bunny hop there, playing a little hopscotch.
Well, McLaughlin and Baker are their two big post guys, and it'll be interesting to see how Chris Wash in particular does against them. Wash attacked the basket that time and draws the foul on Baker.
Well, Wash, Rufus, really needs to get things going here because he is the bigger body and just needs to muscle his way up under the basket like he just did. So that was good to see.
Well, Chris is the kind of player that, boy, if he puts his mind to it on any given night, he can be an all-league caliber player. He's got the size, the bulk, and the body to accomplish that. You know, he's what they call a space eater.
He sure is. And, boy, I bet you the football coaching staff would love to have him out there, too. He looks like a perfect left tackle. Misses the next one, so for 1 point, Chris Wash makes it 4-0. Wash is a 42% free throw shooter. As the Phantoms try to get their offense going as Dixon gets it over to Perez. Perez almost had it stolen away by Neely. Now has numbers, had a block from behind by Jonathan Torres and out of bounds. And there you see the bigger team taking advantage.
Good defensive recovery by Jonathan Torres. He was beat on the play, actually stuck a big paw out there as the player was going by and was able to knock the shot away.
Dixon averaging almost 12 points a game, lays it up and in with the left hand. Nice play, Charles Dixon makes it 4-2.
Cathedral showing that three-quarter court pressure that Coach McCoy told us that they would show.
As Cartwright misses. Cartwright played a big parts as a layup and in as an easy layup by Gabriel Villa. Ties up the game at 4 as Cartwright trying to get the ball away, and now does, and he traveled with the ball. And there is some inexperience going up against some big experienced guards of Cathedral.
Well, it was not only inexperience on the defensive end on that last basket. They went to sleep defensively on that, which allowed Cathedral to score. The defense did not get back at all.
As Perez gets the inbound pass from Dixon, it's all tied up at 4 with 5:55 left to go. Just start of things, the first day of the CIF playoffs, and everybody's all excited. Now in at number 14, Walter Robinson gets it down to Perez, and a blocking foul is on Gerard Neely, and that's not good news early on.
And again, this is one of those adjustments that the players are going to have to make. Gerard Neely looking a bit quizzical, and understandably so on that particular call, because in Pioneer League competition against the likes of North and Centennial, that type of bump and grinding goes on all the time.
Villa with the ball, goes baseline, can't get around the bigger man, Nick McCullough, but I do believe there's going to be a foul on Nick. His first personal and the second team foul. And it's called a shooting foul as Villa will go to the line to shoot 2. Averaging 94% from the free throw line. That's one thing I noticed about this team, is that they know how to shoot free throws, and there's the Stowers jinx.
Yeah. Well, we may as well talk about it and get out of the way. One of the adjustments that the Cardinals are having to make tonight, of course, and that's the fact that Lamont Buckman is no longer with the program. In substituting in his place is Bryce Cartwright, who now is seeing action in the starting unit. Cartwright, of course, a sophomore, will be dependent upon to do a lot of things that Buckman, who had been a 3-year player.
Torres buries a 3. Sorry about that, Rufus.
That's right.
That gives the lead back to the Cardinals as they fly to a 7-4 lead. So go ahead about all that, the shortened roster now of the Cardinals.
Well, the point being is that you've got a player in with a little less experience than some of the other guys on the floor. Of course, their opponent probably is not as aware of that as they could be, and we'll see if they attempt to exploit it.
Cartwright did a heck of a job against North, and Chris Wash gets the ball stolen away from him as he was double-teamed down low. And now here comes Villa with the layup and in as he blows by everybody.
And once again, that's Bryce's inexperience, Cartwright's inexperience, where he let the opponent go by him, and now Cartwright really struggling with the defensive pressure, and Coach Acosta is going to have to think about perhaps needing to make an adjustment.
In Bryce Cartwright's defense, Rufus, somebody should have come up to help him out on that double press and that double
Absolutely.
team. So he was kind of left hung out to dry there by the rest of the flock. As now Villa is going up against Torres. That'll be a good matchup. Perez gets around Neely, tries to bank it, won't go down. Rebound is off, taken by McCullough. Quick outlet to Cartwright with 4:17 left. And now here comes Cartwright flying in as he was fouled up near the free throw line. So no shot. It'll be out of bounds. Cardinals with 4:15 left in the first.
Cartwright a bit out of control on that play. I think the foul actually bailed him out of what looked to have been a travel before the foul actually occurred.
So the Cardinals, after flying out to a huge preseason record, is Cartwright's 3 bounces around and didn't get it like a pinball machine, but here comes the rebound up by Neely. That wouldn't fall, but he'll get the 2 shots from the free throw line.
Gerard Neely, their go-to guy, doing what go-to guys do, and that is if you've got the ball near the vicinity of the basket, boy, you look to put it up and in.
Bill Cartwright not afraid to shoot the ball, and just looking at him right now, a little frustrated with himself, coming over to talk with the coaching staff as Neely is a 57% free throw shooter, and just showed you why. Coming off is Perez, and into the ball game is Nicholas Bluntz, a 6-foot senior, averaging almost 2 points a game. Second free throw is missed. Wash tried to get the rebound, but knocks it to McCullough, who's double-teamed. Way out front, overthrows it to Torres. Here's Blunt, almost had the breakaway try, but gets it to Dixon, who can't get it away. Torres, good defense, and here comes Villa. Look out, it's slapped away by Neely, who slaps it again, but it's taken by the Phantoms with 3:50 left.
Well, a good stop of the fast break there. Now you're going to get a foul against Torres.
That's too bad.
Because he actually played pretty good defense on that.
That was almost a 3-on-1 defensive stop by Torres. So Jonathan takes a well-deserved seat, and in comes Brandon Davis.
Brandon Davis, their second leading scorer. He is an additional point maker, can put it in the basket.
Leader in three-point shots made, Rufus, with 43 on the year, as McCullough gets the bad shot away, and here comes Davis. Davis blows by, but the ball is blocked out of bounds by Walter Robinson. And Robinson says, "Not in my house."
Robinson's slow to get there, though. It was looked like Gabriel Villa attempting to take the charge on the play. Good call by the official on the block. It wasn't set, so that'll send Brandon Davis to the line to shoot two.
And even though Davis leads the team in three-point shooting, Rufus, he's just a 67% free throw shooter. Makes that one. And here comes the broken record part of the show. Free throws might be very important in this, whoever wins this game.
Well, at the pace we're going, they're likely to be very important. And as we always say at any level, it's about who makes them.
That's right. As both free throws are made, and it's 9-6 in favor of Lawndale. As Villa has it, now gets it down low, gets it back from Dixon, goes down the lane, passes it off. Nice give and go to Blunt, who lays it up and in on the back door.
Interior defense of the Cardinals has been deplorable here in this first quarter. The Phantoms have scored at least 3 layups. They've got 9 points on the board, I believe. No, they're actually the home team. They've got 8. I can tell you 6 of the 8 have come on layups.
And into the ball game is Alfred Sterling. He may come in for Chris Wash, who made a frustrated slap at the ball going by. And tell you what, Rufus, this Cathedral team is very well coached. They're not afraid to get in and rebound. And you know darn well, with the experience of those two coaches down there, they're going to exploit every weakness they find in the Cardinals.
Absolutely. And, of course, Coach Acosta here in the early going, making a number of adjustments. And that's what you end up having to do in playoff basketball. It becomes truly a game of adjustments because you see a lot of things that you haven't seen all year.
Dixon with the little runner won't go down. Rebound is tipped back to Dixon. His second shot won't go. Cartwright gets the rebound. And back come the Cardinals with 2:30 left in the first quarter and a 1-point lead. There's the double team again, but he gets it down low. And it's all over to Sterling. Sterling's shot won't go. Over to McCullough. His shot, no. Rebound is off, taken by Cathedral after 2-3 misses by the Cardinals.
A couple of good looks by the Cardinals. They didn't convert. That'll come back to haunt you. On that play was a great pass by Cartwright to find the man open inside.
Cartwright with a nice steal and the layup and blows it, but it's picked up and put back in by Gerard Neely, who now has 5 points, and it's 11-8.
And that was Sterling. Sterling it was indecisive as to whether to lay it up or dunk it, so what does he get for his effort? A missed shot. Fortunately, Gerard Neely followed up.
He was the trailer there, and now let's see if they're going to give a foul or all ball. Nope, I believe they're going to give a foul to Brandon Davis.
They're going to call him with holding on the play. Looks like they're going to give it instead to Sterling. Well, they give it to Davis. I apologize.
Brandon just reached around and grabbed, looked like he grabbed some ball, but Dixon's at the free throw line. This is the first one. Dixon with 2 points. It says it's a 92% free throw. That will look like a 92% free throw shooter. Now it's 11-9. This is the best free throw shooting team that I've seen, at least on paper. Let's see if they prove it out. They being the Cathedral Phantoms. Now the ball's down low to Neely. Gets it underneath to Sterling. Blows another layup.
Second blown opportunity. Boy, that'll cut your time down on the floor real fast. Cardinals doing an excellent job of looking inside, finding an open man.
Ooh, Sterling gets the foul on that one as Villa came in. Thought he had another easy layup, but it was blocked by Sterling, but they're going to call Neely with the foul.
They called Neely with the foul, and Bryce Cartwright got the worst of the whole exchange. He's the one that comes up holding his jaw.
Yep. Coach Acosta is talking to the officials right now. It does say that, but now they give it to Sterling now?
Right, they give it to Sterling, which was...
Okay, take it away from Neely. And there's Gerard Neely.
And, of course, all that's important. That's just part of the gamesmanship. Gerard Neely, of course, you can't afford to get in foul trouble. I don't know if Gerard had one already. I think we saw an early one called. In fact, I know we did.
That would have been a second.
That would have been a second. And, boy, you can't afford to lose him. He is the offensive engine.
2 free throws in by Villa. Now he is 2 out of 4, 6 points, and it's all tied up at 11 here in the first game of the CIF playoffs. Ball is dumped down low, shot by McCullough. That won't go down. Rebound is taken by McLaughlin of the Phantoms, and back they come. Blunt trying to get the shot and does, gets it over Cartwright and everybody else down there. Nice shot by Nicholas Blunt with 4 points, and that's the first lead of the game for the Cardinals.
13-11 with 40 seconds left in the quarter.
Big three-point shot by Davis. That won't go. Let's see if he adjusts his lasers as the rebound goes to Robinson. Now the long pass to Blunt. Gets it out, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be turned over to Lawndale.
Lawndale will have it with 31 seconds left, so that means the shot clock will be put to sleep. They can work for the last shot here.
And these teams averaging 16.5 a quarter for the first quarter for Lawndale, almost 13 points for Cathedral. As it's 13-11, 22 seconds left. Now Neely goes baseline, runs into a man, and it's called a block. So, and that is it as far as fouls go for the Phantoms. So it'll be out of bounds, though, for the Cardinals, and a new 35, so they'll have the last shot.
Emphatic call by the referee Bruce McCallum that it was block on it. Good thing that he and Fred Starkey agreed on the call. Boy, if it had been one block and one charge, you'd have a bit of a controversy here.
As the ball is inbounded, skip passed across to the far side. Now Cartwright wanted to shoot a 3, tries to go down for the and one. Nope, he gets a charge instead. And standing his ground was Ryan McLaughlin. Gets the charge called that time.
Gets the charge called that time, and right now, here's what I've seen the last couple of minutes in the first quarter, Lou. The Cardinals have completely lost the rhythm, their offensive rhythm, to say the least. They've done some good things defensively. They've been stuck on 11 for a while.
They sure have, as a big three-point shot by Dixon won't go down, and that's going to end the quarter at 13-11 for the home team, Cathedral Phantoms.
And as they head to the sideline, a little expression of emotion by Nicholas Blunt, the 6-foot senior there. Not sure what for, but, and there you see Blunt on your screen, and the referee, McCallum, goes over to talk immediately with their coach about it, because you're right, it's in a situation where an official wants to excuse a player from the game, but Blunt seemed to demonstrate some animosities there that, from everything I saw and what the officials saw, seemed to have been unwarranted. So, at any rate, with all of that, we come to the end of a quarter.
And let's go to Charity Bailey.
Guys, a little bit earlier, we talked about this court not necessarily being Cathedral's home court. So earlier when I spoke to Coach Acosta, I asked him about this court being a neutral site. And he said, you know what, it's actually an advantage for us because we're closer to the court than they are. They have to travel a little bit further. And you know that athletes are creatures of habit. He says they've only played here twice in their full season. He also said that it doesn't matter where they play. He says 10 feet is 10 feet. So the hoop is going to be the same. It doesn't matter. We just got to come out and we got to play ball. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Charity. And the second quarter is underway here at St. Matthias High School, home of the Victorians, but right now it's the home of the Phantoms, and now that's home of Alfred Sterling, who gets the first bucket of the second quarter, and Sterling ties the ball game up at 13. So Dixon brings it up, and the winner of this game gets the dubious distinction of playing Oak Park.
At Oak Park. So somebody will have to make a trip up to Ventura County.
And Villa comes in on that left side, on the weak side. That's his favorite side, and Wash ends up with the rebound. And Cartwright dribbles it out of bounds, but Blunt's forced it out of bounds. So rebound by Wash.
That's the call by the official that Blunt forced it out. Coach McCorn, right in front of the play, thinks he saw something completely different.
Well, you don't think the coach right there is just going to keep his mouth shut, do you? I've never seen a coach to do that before. 17-10 left to go in the first half. Cartwright has it, gets his man out of the way, takes a shot too long. Rebound is off to Sterling, who wanted to go back up with it, but a foul is called by an emotional Walter Robinson. So that's the 7th team foul. So we're going to get the 1-and-1 from Alfred Sterling, Rufus.
And I can tell you, when it comes, you mentioned emotional Walter Robinson. As an official, one thing that really annoys you is that when a player overreacts to an obvious call. That call was real obvious. Not sure what Robinson thought he didn't do that the official standing right in front of the play saw.
And as a result, Mr. Robinson's neighborhood is on the bench. Coming in for him is Ahmad Taylor, a 5'10 senior. Second free throw, and boy, Alfred Sterling likes to line drive those fastballs in there. So it's 15-13 in favor of the Cardinals. We're down by 2. And now, here comes a shot by Villa. Nice turnaround three-point shot off the mark. Rebound is off to Sterling. And back comes Cartwright. Cartwright spins, shoots, too long. Rebound is off, batted out of bounds by Wash.
Again, Cardinals having difficulty executing on the inside, converting the easy buckets. Boy, if they converted half of their misses, they'd be up by nearly double digit at this point. Instead, they're only up by 2 at 15-13.
As Cartwright goes in for the shot, that's too long. Rebound is off again to Sterling, who's kind of taken over the second quarter. Here comes Torres in, and he lays it in. And boy, the Cardinals sure could use a big game from Jonathan Torres. 17-13 is the score. That is 5 for Torres, as Taylor has it for the Phantoms. Now back up to McLaughlin. Rotated around to Villa. Dixon thought he was going to take a three, but then here came Mr. Davis to block him up. Good defense by the Cardinals on the man-to-man. Villa has his shot all messed up by Sterling, and Cartwright fumbling and bumbling down, gets it to Sterling, and he lays it up and in.
Cartwright, now I can see why he's out on the floor. And he has excellent court vision, doing a great job of finding the open man inside. And that forces a timeout to be taken by Coach Sheldon McCorn of the Cathedral Phantoms.
6 points scored here in the second quarter by Alfred Sterling and 2 by Jonathan Torres, and that translates into a 6-point lead. So it's an 8-0 run in the first 2 minutes and 14 seconds of this second quarter, Rufus. As Bryce Cartwright, it seemed like once the action got going against the North, that was the last game that we saw Bryce Cartwright play. Once things started really shooting and firing off, well, they really, Bryce really had a good ball game. As a matter of fact, if I can find it here somewhere, I know I had it. I'll find it.
You might find it.
We have limited
I've already
space.
lost a briefcase.
Maybe small in here, but this bleacher's hungry.
Right.
I've seen your briefcase. As Taylor brings it in, takes a shot, no, too long. As Sterling comes up with another board, and back comes Gerard Neely. So Alfred Sterling, this second quarter belongs to him. A three-point shot almost made by Davis, and the rebound is put up and in by Chris Wash.
Chris Wash using the side. First of all, did a good job of taking down the rebound, then used the side, the muscle inside to score the basket.
As Dixon tries to go coast to coast, Wash gets the rebound, and the quick outlet, as that was a rainbow pass, now tried to get it in deep, but the pass from Neely to Davis was tipped out of bounds.
Boy, there is no extra room on this court, and what that does for you, it's just that everything's right up on you. And I can tell you visually, and I've officiated in this gym, every second of the way you feel like you're going to go right into the crowd.
Another rebound for Wash. He puts it up and Wash, I believe, ran over somebody. But at any rate, the ball has been turned over. Yep, the charge on Chris Wash, so we're going to go the other way on the turnover.
Well, you like that aggressiveness in Wash, though. I'm not going to complain about that foul.
A 10-0 run being put up on the board right now by the Cardinals, as Villa has it against Torres, trying to get around him. Does, and puts it too hard off the glass. Rebound is put up by Blunt. He couldn't get it, gets his own rebound, and it's a jump ball. And the possession arrow faces to the Phantoms. Nick McCullers is going to come in for Chris Wash. Getting a well-earned rest. Is 3 rebounds just in this quarter.
Well, Wash doing a good job so far, and again, he's got 2 fouls on him, so Coach Acosta looking to protect him here.
Block shot by Torres, and here comes Sterling. Almost tried to slam it home, but he missed it, and back comes the Cardinals. And the shot is blocked. That's going to break the 10-0 run as the goaltending by Sterling.
And the ball was coming off. It was a good call by the official. Sterling a little too exuberant, wanted to do the spectacular. It was a missed shot. If he'd taken down the rebound, they'd be going the other way. Neely back in the game now. Neely hasn't gotten on track himself, but Jonathan Torres has gotten on track with yet another 3-pointer.
And that gives Jonathan 8 points on the ball game, 2 3-pointers, and the lead goes back up to 9 as the rebound is tipped away as Davis tips it out of bounds. Who's it going to go to? The officials say it's going to go to the Cardinals.
And I think that's the Cardinals' biggest lead of the game at 9, 24-15.
Yep. As Brandon Davis comes to take a seat.
And as I look at both of these scoreboards, this is another one of those places where we need to pass the hat for the scoreboard light fund.
For the team, for the time especially, as Neely's layup wouldn't go down. The bunny wouldn't go down in the hole. Rebound is off. Taken by Charles Dixon, who skids and slides, still gets the ball back though. Now a pass underneath to Taylor, trying to get it across, and does to Cisneros, but the rebound is off, taken by Neely, and back comes the Cardinals. Torres going baseline. Torres gets it out. He
second violation.
Turned it over.
You can see that one coming, and typically what will happen is on that extra pass, if you've got the ball and driving the baseline and you make a pass, you almost always are going to earn a 3-second count.
3:15 left to go in the first half. It's 24-15 in favor of Lawndale over Cathedral. Dixon put the shot over Sterling, who may have partially blocked it. Long pass down for Torres, but it's stolen away by Blunt of the Phantoms. Brings it up over to Taylor, has an open wing, lays it up and under. No, rebound is off by Taylor. That shot won't go. Rebound to McCullough, and back come the Cardinals. Here comes Torres against Dixon. Good defense by Charles. Over to Neely. Neely spins, shoots, has it blocked by Taylor, almost stolen away, taken by Cartwright, who does a nice move. He'll go to the line to get 2.
And from our angle, I'm sure he didn't, but boy, it looked like Neely passed that one with his foot.
And Bryce's dad almost passed out. So Bryce going to the line to shoot 2. The foul is on Anthony Cisnero, his first personal, 8th team foul. Bryce makes the first one. Just like Anthony showed him in the driveway, right?
Just like
that form, just like he showed him in the driveway. Oh, Dad just said he needs to get his hands set.
Knocks down a pair, and I tell you, I personally have not seen a lot of Cartwright down to Lusinger. I knew that was going to happen as well. The Lawndale lead is 11. Of course, we will see the Cardinals, the Olympians, and Hawthorne on Friday night.
And the Cougars, it should be fun. As Blunt takes a shot, it was blocked by Neely. And back comes the Cardinals. Bryce seems like he gets a slow start. And just as he does that, he makes a bad pass, but he's saved by the tip front out of bounds by Ahmad Taylor. Seems like it takes him a while to warm up.
Well, it takes him a little bit, again, I think his ball handling is an area that he'll work on and grow in. More inside shots missed by the Cardinals. Gosh, we won't even count that one.
A volleyball match finally won by Gerard Neely, his first bucket. of the second quarter, and that makes it 28-15.
They got about 4 attempts at it before they got one to go.
And there's the and one for Charles Dixon, as Alfred Sterling made a good defensive play, but the foul is going to be called on Sterling, as Coach Acosta wants to give him a little chat. So Dixon with 5 points has the opportunity for 6. And that's only the 4th point put up on the board in this quarter by the Phantoms.
By the Phantoms has been a good quarter for the Cardinals, as they've put already 17 points on the board in this quarter alone.
So the basket has been the Phantom for Cathedral, as now there's a foul. Should be on Ahmad Taylor, as Bryce Cartwright falls on the ball. And that doesn't feel too good.
Cartwright slow to get up and holding his chin again. Boy, he's taking a couple of hits to the mouth, boy, and like a good boxer. I mean, it's wobbled him a little bit, but he stands back up every time.
He's got to get the crosshairs in both eyes back straight, and makes the first one. 3 points for Bryce. He's 3 out of 3. And for Charles Dixon, they call Charles Dixon on that. That's his second foul. 9th team foul is Dixon. Check that. Cartwright rolls the next one in. 4 points, all from the free throw line. Now that's 30-18. Stolen away by Cartwright, but then it's stolen right back by Dixon. Dixon scoops it in. 8 points for Charles, and that cuts the lead to 10. 1:30 left to go in the first half, as the Cardinals are quietly pulling away from Cathedral here in this second quarter, Rufus.
And they're doing a good job of finding a hole in his own toe on the line there. Didn't go anyway.
Rebound by Anthony Cisneros, and back comes Cathedral. Cathedral in second place, finished in second place in the Camino Real League. Dixon, nice play to move down the lane, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2, as these Phantoms finish second in the Camino League to Mary Star of the Sea. Dixon gets Sterling to foul him. That is his second and the team's 9th. Check that, it's the 10th. So Dixon with his 9th point. Coming into the ball game is little used Marcus Brown for Alfred Sterling, probably just to get some time and to keep everybody out of foul trouble.
Absolutely. Marcus Brown brings some buck. Bit on the short side, listed at 5'10", but a wide body at 5'10", and makes a mistake as soon as he comes in, throwing the ball away.
And Dixon gets the steal, gets the ball, the shot goes up and in. Gabriel Villa with the shot. That's his first bucket of the quarter after scoring 6 in the first. 3-point shot taken and made by Brandon Davis. There's number 1 for the leader of the Cardinals.
Big three-pointer by Davis, as actually Cathedral has started to make a little run here.
In the ball game is Marcus Zozelenko. Now over to Dixon for a wide open 3. Nice shot by Dixon, and he knows it. 13 points for Charles Dixon, and that makes the lead tighten up, 33-27. 15 seconds to go. Shot up by Brown, lays it up and in. Just picking cherries and got a fat one.
And that scared the crowd for a minute, and that should do it.
Here comes 5, 4, 3. Villa wants to put it up. Does. Makes it. Gabriel Villa with 2 big buckets at the end of the quarter to make the score 35-29. And where did that 12-point lead go?
Oh, it evaporated. That's what happened. At one point, it was 13 at 28-15. At 28-15, from that point on, Cathedral went on a 14-7 run to make it a contest, and they go into the locker room trailing now by only a margin of 35-29. So they made a game out of it.
Absolutely. They just cut that thing in half. As we'll figure out the scoring for you in just a second here. What a quarter put in by the Cardinals, though, Rufus. 24 points in the second quarter. As we see some of the Cardinal faithful here. And let's go over the scoring of the Cardinals, who lead
Coach
35.
Mondo Padilla, the football team, he's doing a little recruiting himself.
He says, hey, I think he's saying, what about that Wash kid and that Brown kid? Well, they're both seniors. Sorry, Coach. Yeah. They would have looked good out there, though, huh?
Coach Padilla, a good guy, though. I've had him on Coach's clipboard before.
Brandon Davis with 5 points for the Cardinals, and Jonathan Torres with 8, 2 3-pointers. Gerard Neely 7 points, as Gerard only had 1 bucket in the second quarter, and the second quarter belonged to Alfred Sterling. And boy, you know, as soon as Alfred went out of the ball game with his foul there, he everything just kind of got erased there. But Alfred with 2 personal fouls, 6 points, also had 3 rebounds in that quarter. And 4 points for Bryce Cartwright, who's working hard out there.
Very hard.
4 points to show for it, all from the free throw line. And no points for Nick McCullough, 2 points for Marcus Brown, 3 points for Chris Wash, who had 4 rebounds in the second quarter, and one of them was an offensive rebound that led to his bucket. So that's a total of 35 for the Cardinals. And for the Phantoms, 6 points for Nicholas Blunt, 13 points for Charles Dixon, 10 of them in the second quarter for Big Chuck, 10 points for Gabriel Villa, for a total of 29 points.
Well, there's a total of 29. Again, there were a couple of things that happened there. One of the big problems was the inability of the Cardinals to score inside consistently. They had a number of good inside looks that they didn't convert. Hopefully those points won't come back to haunt them. You have a lot of credit to the Phantoms, though. Like I said, they were down by 13. They could have folded up the tent then. Instead, they fought back, made a game out of it. Coach McCoy mentioned to us in our pregame that one of the things about his team is that they're new and just learning. He's only been there 2 years, and they haven't learned Sheldon McCoy basketball yet fully. But, boy, they're making some great strides here in the first round of the playoffs.
And that was one thing that impressed me, is the pedigree of these 2 coaches for Cathedral High School, McCorn and Dennis James.
They bring a lot of basketball experience to the table, and it's showing in their kids. They're a bit undersized in this contest, but they're playing tough and they're playing good. It's going to be a big second half, boy, because remember, this is one and done.
Yep.
Loser goes home. Season's over. Wrap it up. Put a big bow tie on it, because you don't unwrap this one until the summer when you get the summer league play.
That's right. So, by the way, how was your Valentine's Day?
It was wonderful, and now today is the 15th of February, and we can go on with the rest of life.
I don't think he's a real romantic guy here. I had a wonderful one, by the way, just shown by this tie here from my sweet Diane. So,
well, that's great. You're right. Diane was a nice lady to bought you a tie. I can't show a tie for Valentine's Day, but hey, here we are.
Well, with Shakespeare over here, I'm Lou Stowers. Charity Bailey is also with us. We'll be back with her before the start of the third quarter, with the Cardinals leading the Phantoms 35-29 on Channel 22 Sports. And 8 minutes has been put back up on the board for the Cathedral High School Phantoms and the Lawndale Cardinals, who lead the Phantoms 35-29. Let's go to Charity Bailey.
Lou, Rufus, as we roll into the second half, the Cardinals are up 35-29. I caught up with Coach Acosta during the halftime, and I asked him, what is it that you said to your guys during the half? He told me, he says, bottom line, we've got to make more points. We've got to become more consistent, and we've got to put points on the board. Shoot more, get them in the basket. Bottom line, that's it. So we're going to watch them try to put more points on the board and pull out a win tonight. Back to you.
Thanks, Charity. And what did Alex tell us before the game? The slogan for the Cardinals is nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. And I think the points that he's talking about, and I'm sure they are, as you and I saw and the fans on Hawthorne Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22 saw, where there are absolutely too many missed layups.
Absolutely, yeah. Sterling and Neely missed some in there. Also Bryce Cartwright, McCullough.
missed one. And why don't we tell you that this broadcast has been made possible by a cooperative agreement between the City of Lawndale and Community Cable Television Channel 22 and the City of Hawthorne Community Cable Television Channel 22. And you can watch this game and all of the games this season at 10 a.m. and again at 7 p.m. every Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And also, Rufus, if you enjoy these broadcasts and would like to see them continue, feel free to let your elected official know. You can do it several different ways. You can always send a letter, use the phone to call them, or you can contact them by email. You can contact the Lawndale City Council at City Hall, 14717 Buren Avenue in Lawndale, 90260, or by calling 310-973-3200, or by email at the city's official website at lawndalecity.org.
A little bit of a delay in starting the second half. As we can see, there is apparent wet spot. We know the roof isn't leaking because it hasn't rained.
Hasn't rained in a long time. It might rain this weekend.
But there was some wetness on the floor, and the personnel here at St. Matthias High School, which we know is a girls' high school, is taking care of it, formerly Pass X. Let us also, while they're doing that, remind you fans that if you would like to know what's on Lawndale Community Cable Television Channel 22, you can have the program schedule delivered right to your email by subscribing to the Channel 22 program guide. Just send an email to the following email address, channel22@lawndalecity.org, and put subscribe in the subject area.
All right, third quarter is underway. McCullers with it. Gets it down underneath to Torres. Back to McCullers, over to Cartwright. Cartwright down low to Walsh on the weak side. Passes it back to Torres. Now McCullers, as the defense is really swarming to the ball for the Phantoms.
Zone defense being employed by the Phantoms right now. The Cardinals did a good job, just as they did there, finding a hole in the zone. Another missed layup, this time by Chris Wash, although he did get away perhaps with a dip of the shoulder.
I would say so, because he really cleared out Ryan McLaughlin and got away with it, as Villa has it for the Phantoms. Gets it over and back from Dixon. Now Baker with it. Baker was very ineffective, had no points at all, just one foul in the first half. As Perez has it, bounces it down low on the weak side to McLaughlin, spins, shoots, doesn't get it, rebound off to Chris Wash. Wash gets it off to Cartwright, who wants to fly in, lays it up and in. Bryce Cartwright with his first bucket of the game, and I was telling you, it just takes a while for Mr. Bryce to warm up.
Goes with his, I believe, 3 free throws.
So now that is 6 points for Bryce. As the shot down low from Dixon won't go. Rebound is off to McCullers. McCuller gets the ball off to Torres. Torres is shot really wild, and the rebound goes to Cartwright.
Torres tried to avoid the charge on that, which forced him to put up an awkward shot.
Villa trying to get rid of Torres. Goes in, lays it up and in. He was picked up by Cartwright, but still made the basket, this time from the strong side, now with a dozen, and that cuts the lead 37-31. Rebound is off to McCuller with another rebound this quarter.
The key to the Cardinal effort, Lou, is going to rest with Gerard Neely, as we see him go to the basket there, couldn't draw the foul. He's the man that's got to get on track for them.
Perez goes down, rebound is off to Baker, and he goes down in a heap. It'll be turned over to the Cardinals. So poor Brian Baker is not having a real good game for the Phantoms.
And I was going to say about Baker early on, of course, the Phantoms clad in their purple and white, which was my old junior high school color. Of course, that was back when junior high schools were in the log cabin days.
Oh.
Three-pointer put up and in by Cartwright. So he's picking up the slack until Gerard Neely can get on track.
Back to a 9-point lead, and all of a sudden 9 points, as the going for the and one is Villa, but the shot won't go down. Rebound, the shot is on, foul is on Torres. First personal, first team foul of the second half. And won't be a shooting foul. 5:22 left to go in the third quarter. 40-31 in favor of the Cardinals, looking to advance in their first playoff game.
we can easily say their first playoff appearance in 26 years.
Man.
Of course, that's a bit deceptive, but it is also in part the truth.
That's right. As the new gym for the Phantoms will be done sometime next year. As a nice stop and shoot by Villa with 14. Better watch him, make sure he doesn't start to heat up, as it's 40-33. McCullough has it, whips it down low to Wash with a little hook shot. That was real ugly.
Yeah, that was real ugly, and that's way off. And what I don't like that the Cardinals are doing right now is that they're not making an attempt to get Gerard Neely untracked. And I'm going to say it again, I'm going to say it very clearly, fans. It is going to be difficult, if not impossible, for this team to win unless Gerard Neely puts up between 15 and 20 points.
Now that's the third shot, or third foul, I should say, on Villa. He'll get 2. Misses that one as Gabriel.
Well, the foul, actually, I think you intended to say was on Torres. Villa's at the line to shoot.
That's right. Number 5, Torres, Villa. Now, out of the ball game is Torres. Into the ball game is Brandon Davis, who has a couple of threes. 1 in each quarter. Makes the second one. 15 points for Villa. 40-34 is the score. Cardinals with the lead and the ball. McCullough has it. McCullough almost lost it. Gives it to Wash. Now over to Cartwright. Cartwright will shoot it and make it.
Good. Again, a great quarter by Cartwright. He's got, what, 5 or 7? I know he's got for sure 5, if not 7, here in the quarter thus far.
Yes, he has 7. You're absolutely right.
And if he's got 7, and he's got all the scoring
Dixon
for the
goes
Cardinals thus, so far here in the third quarter.
As the foul is called from way back. So Davis gets his second. And already the third team foul. As it's 42-34. Dixon going to the line to shoot 2. His first try at a bucket. That gives him 14 points. 42-35, and it just seems like every time Bryce Cartwright gets the ball near the bucket, he's not going to give it up. He'll just shoot it.
Absolutely. Dixon, of course, the second leading scorer on this team, averaging nearly 12 a game.
Big downtown shot is made by Brandon Davis. He's got 1 in each quarter now, Rufus.
Davis, the only other person to score thus far for the Cardinals, other than, of course, our friend.
Well, Jonathan Torres has a couple of three-pointers. As Villa has it. Villa, turnaround jump shot. Nope, won't go down. That was ugly, too, as the loose ball is picked up by Brandon Davis with 3:30 left to go in the third quarter and an 11-point Cardinal lead. Bryce Cartwright, who always looks just a touch out of control, brings the ball down, gets it to Davis, over to Neely. Neely gives the ball up to McCullough, pulls up, nice shot by Nick McCullough, his first bucket of the game.
I guess it would be a bit overstatement if I say Cartwright was having a bonanza of a quarter.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. As now Dixon goes down underneath and in. Nice move by Charles Dixon.
We talked about it in the first half, the Cardinal interior defense a bit lacking throughout the course of this game, and showing it again. Again, Gerard Neely can't get it going. Boy, puts up a shot, thought he had earned a foul, no call. We go the other way.
Got his own rebound but couldn't get it. As coming the other way is Dixon, who now has 19 points. 47, I should say, to 44. And down underneath, we have a whistle as Cartwright took it in the middle.
Spin move by Cartwright draws the foul from Dixon. I believe they're going to give it to Dixon, a little quizzical. And they do give it to Dixon.
So for Charles, that's his third personal, just the first team foul here in the second half. And Cartwright will go to the line to shoot 2 with 7 points in the quarter.
So far we've been fairly even here in the third quarter with 2:31 left in the quarter. What was a 6-point halftime lead is now an 8-point lead with a chance for it to go to 9.
Wash comes out for the Cardinals. In is Sterling. Second free throw is good by Cartwright, as he is 6 out of 6 from the free throw line with 12 points.
So 49-40 is the score. Villa has the ball stripped this time by Cartwright. Gets it to Neely, but he has it stolen away from him by Robinson. And back come the Phantoms. Villa has it stripped away from him. Was it Cartwright again who was the pickpocket? I believe so. But he double dribbled the ball, and some good double team defense confuses the youngster again.
They call a double dribble against Cartwright. Cartwright and the Lawndale fans felt that the ball came off the back of one of the Phantom players.
2:09 left to go in the third quarter. A 9-point lead for the Cardinals at 49-40 as Blunt has the ball.
So the Cardinal fans thinking that that was a Phantom call.
That's two. Villa has it, gets it over to Dixon. It's a good thing they're on tape, though. And now Brian Baker has it, trying to get a shot off, and did he? There's a push against McCullough. Didn't see much of a push there, but it was called anyway by Bruce McCallum.
Everybody, nowadays you see all the big men. They say this in all seriousness, using the move first made, in my opinion, famous by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Swing left, shoot right. And that's what all these guys do.
I don't remember a shot taken by Baker, but okay. He's an 86.2% free throw shooter, but yeah, Kareem in that sky hook. And you can still hear Chick Hearn calling it. 49-42. First 2 points of the ball game for Brian Baker, who was silent and still does not have a field goal. Ball down underneath the Cartwright on the mismatch with Baker, who looks like a point guard himself, stealing the ball away.
Looks like one again as we wind down the last minute and a half. Boy, we have not seen the Gerard Neely that we've come to expect in terms of this Cardinal effort.
Well, the Cardinals have done a good job on him. And Gerard has been doing that all night as well. Cherry picking is Blunt, but the pass is too far ahead of him, and it goes out of bounds. So another turnover by the Cardinals. That's their third, only their sixth turnover unofficially, and the Cardinals have 9. So let's see what's happening here. Bryce Cartwright is kind of taking his time coming down as he was replaced, I believe, by Jonathan Torres. But there's no room to walk down the court there. There's just absolutely no room off the sidelines as Neely comes in, finally makes a bucket.
Gets one to go, boy. It took him a while, and that one comes with 1:10 left in the third.
51-42, 9 points for Neely, just his first bucket of that second half. Baker has it now, going against McCullough, spins left, shoots right, and puts this one in. Look
Where
out.
was Baker in the first half?
I have no
The
idea.
kid's looking pretty good out here.
As he made those free throws, and then all of a sudden got a wild hair and made a good defensive play on the other end, and now he's made a bucket. Look out for Brian Baker. He's the biggest guy out on the floor. Ball is down underneath to McCullough, back to Neely. Torres for 3, looks good, it is.
Good. Big shot by Jonathan Torres. Makes it a 10-point game at 54-44 with under 30 left in the third quarter.
11 points for Jonathan. Villa trying to answer. No, rebound is off. McCullough with it. Nice rebound to get good position against Baker. Lay it up and in on the other end by Davis. Davis with 9 points, and it's 56-54. Boy, those three-pointers will just kill you if you're on the other side.
A last-minute explosion by the Cardinals, boy, opens up what had been a relatively close game.
Is Neely trying to make it at the buzzer? Oh, boy. Hit the rafter upstairs in this little bandbox.
Yeah.
And the score at the end of 3 quarters is 56-46 in favor of Lawndale in Game 1 of the CIF Division 3A playoffs. And winner of this game goes on to play Oak Park.
Well, they have to travel to Oak Park, Lou, and I will remind the fans, as right now, way too early to talk about next steps for either team. But we'll go to charity before I finish that point.
All right, Rufus, Lou, I got a question for you. Where were you in 1981? Well,
I
me,
wasn't
myself,
born yet.
I was only like a month and a half. But I guess that's neither here nor there. 1981 was the last time that Lawndale High actually went to the playoffs. You know, the school closed down for some time, and now this program has been under Coach Acosta for 2 years, and this is the first time they've been to playoffs since 1981 and the first time they've been since the school opened 2 seasons ago. So he said that they might lack experience in playoffs, but he says they're not worried about that. He said at the beginning of the season that you have to learn to win. He says over the season they've lost some, but they've learned a whole lot, and winning is one of the things that they've learned. So forget about where you were in 1981. Focus in on the game. Back to you.
I couldn't focus back then either.
Well, I can tell you in 81 I was living in my favorite city of Washington.
Oh,
DC.
and one. Go ahead, Rufus.
No, just living in D.C. in 81. That I know.
My grandmother told me about 1981. Actually, I don't even know if I want to say where I was in 1981. But 16 seconds gone. Already our first foul of the game as Gabriel Villa makes the basket and the three-point effort. 18 points now for Gabriel. As the foul was on Chris Wash. That's his third. As down on the other end, Blunt gets the rebound. Wash is really, yep, there he gets his number. He gets number 4 right there. And Alfred Sterling gets up off the bench real quick. And Wash just looks like that was a frustration foul.
Well, it was a bit of a frustration foul, but it was also a good hustle foul by Chris. I mean, the ball was loose. He was going for it. You know, you get in the heat of the moment. It's very hard to pull back from your natural instinct of going after the ball. Good effort by Chris Wash. Unfortunately, his 4th foul.
Villa with it against Cartwright. Now over to Dixon. Dixon going against Torres. Puts the ball up, looking for the foul. Nope, Alfred Sterling gets the rebound. Sterling has been a monster on the boards. Is now Davis with it. Gets it back over to McCullough. McCullough, Cartwright, Torres. 3. Looks a little short it was. Sterling tips the rebound to Davis, and he just couldn't keep it in. Good effort, though, by the Cardinals.
And again, this is where the dimensions of the court come into play, because if you were in a more normal situation, he could have jumped with the prospect of going out of bounds. But here, if he jumps, he's going to land, boy, in these hardwood stands.
He's going to land on stage right over there. As Villa has it. Villa going against Cartwright and gets the, nope, no basket. And let's see if they're going to get Bryce Cartwright with the foul. So Bryce gets his 2nd foul, but Bryce really heated up in the 3rd quarter, Rufus, with 9 points.
He certainly did. Had a huge 3rd quarter. Well, I'll save that one for later.
Okay. Now they're going to give him shots.
Well, they're going to give him, well, you're right. They initially said it occurred.
Oh, they're in the bonus.
Yeah,
I don't know where that came from all of a sudden. Did we get some fouls that I didn't read about?
Well, I don't know, but the scoreboard has 7.
Okay. Can't argue with them, as Villa now
well,
has 19.
Well, his point is because he's shooting.
20 points for Gabriel Villa.
And we've got ourselves a 5-point game lead with just under 7 minutes to go. It's anybody's ball game.
Cartwright going up and under, way up off the glass. 15 for Bryce. And it's 58-51. An off-balance shot by Dixon, and that goes in. And McCorn says, where's my foul?
Well, McCorn and his player asked the same question.
As Dixon now has 21 points, or 23 points, check that. Sterling down underneath puts it up and in.
Wow, and Sterling lucky on that shot, should have used the glass, instead laid it in the rim.
And that makes it 60-53, and Dixon is tripped.
Well, he fell down. I'm going to tell you again, this is an official's perspective. When you see somebody go down, boy, you're kind of looking at, you're almost compelled to make the call. And unfortunately for Jonathan Torres, man, who also picks up his 4th foul, He's the unfortunate recipient of that foul call, which will send Dixon to the line again to shoot. You haven't seen the indication yet as to whether he's shooting a 1-1. He's shooting a 1-1.
As they're in the bonus, first one is up and in. 24 points for Charles Dixon, and that makes it a 6-point game at 60-54. Dixon's next effort is short. Rebound, though, is off to Robinson, but is stolen away by Sterling out of bounds and is tipped out by the Phantoms, say the officials.
Well, a Phantom tipped it out, and it'll go to the Cardinal. That was the call by the referee underneath, Fred Starkey.
6 minutes left to go in the third. Check the ball game. 60-54. Wow. Underneath, wow. Okay. Sterling, look out.
Well, I'm not quite sure what the Phantom player there, that's number 14, Walter Robinson, is going to argue about on the call. He was given 2 fouls. Referee let the first one go, and ordinarily that's what will happen, Lou. A player, if you let the first one go, you can almost bet your last buck he's going to make a one for sure on the next level of effort because he thinks he's going to get it all now.
Sterling's next one won't go in. Rebound is off to Neely. Stolen away. 3-point shot rattled home by Villa. Look out, 23 points now for Villa, and we got ourselves a ball game. Neely gets it over to McCullough. That won't go. Rebound is off to Sterling. He'll put it up. Nope, McCullough can't get the rebound away from Robinson.
Inside shot missed, and now he's got a 4-point game.
So McLaughlin's going to come back in for the Phantoms, and out of the ball game is Robinson. Robinson did a good job while he was in there.
He banged some people around a little bit, made some noise.
As the inbound pass will go to Baker. Villa wanted to try it, but Cartwright was in his face. 5:15 left to go in the game, and a 4-point lead for the Cardinals. Dixon with it has had the hot hand down to Baker. Now he's going to do another hook shot. Missed it. Rebound is tapped, and Dixon gets it back, puts it up and in. How did he get that up and in? 25 for Dixon, and look out.
Haven't seen the Cardinals call a timeout in a long time, and I got to tell you, I think they're pretty close to needing one. As they've seen virtually all of this lead evaporate, Gerard Neely still struggling to get on track.
As Dixon has the rebound, coming back the other way against Neely. Neely just with 9 points, Rufus, only 4 since the first quarter. As Baker, actually Villa tried to get it, fell down, didn't get a call. Dixon gets the rebound.
Travel.
And let's see if they call it.
I think you're going to see a timeout being called by Coach Alex Acosta.
So why would he call the timeout now?
Well, he needed the timeout. Why would he call it? He called it because he's lost 8 points off of a 10-point lead here in the second half. They ended the third leading 56-46, and they have been outscored as right now they only lead 61-59. So they've scored 5, and Cathedral has scored 13.
Yep.
According to my arithmetic.
And it's the same as mine.
All right. Well, then that tells me, boy, I'm getting better every day.
13-5. I don't know.
I take that abacus home. I work with it day and night, and it's all starting to come together.
Did you find where you put the batteries?
I sure did. But I tell you, right now, boy, and I said that at the start of the third, that this was by no means a gimme. And right now the Cardinals have got to step up and make some big shots.
Well, now let's see who is the tougher team, as Neely has it. Coming right down to the wire with 4:10 left to go in the ball game. Cartwright has it, brings it back out, chewing some time off the clock down to Neely. Neely coming down the back door and puts it up and in.
Well, better late than never, and if he can get going now, that's all to the good for the Cardinal effort.
63-59, a slim 4-point lead, but a little bit of breathing room for the Cardinals as Villa comes down on Cartwright, as Cartwright blocks it away, but Blunt gets it and puts up the easy bunny. That's
they
his
nearly
8 point.
forced a turnover but couldn't complete the effort, and now they almost throw it away themselves.
Cartwright gets it back from Davis. Cartwright in trouble. Somebody needs to help him. Now Neely does. Neely coming in, tried to feed it off to Sterling, but maybe should have taken it up himself.
Yeah.
But the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Lawndale ball with 3:28 left and a 63-61 lead.
63-61, and you got to get back to the fundamentals. And the question now is, how much longer can Lawndale keep Torres out of the game?
Cartwright makes the shot, a nice little shot, gives him 17 points, and that makes it 65-61, Rufus. As long as Cartwright keeps making those shots and plays, and maybe Torres could rest a little bit.
He can rest a little bit. I would suspect that Coach Acosta is going to try to get him back somewhere near the 2-minute mark.
Offensive rebound for Blunt off of the miss by Villa. Now Dixon going against Davis.
Man-to-man defense being employed right now by the Cardinals.
Big
Good stop
block
by
by
McCullough.
McCullough. And back come the Cardinals. Davis down low. Lets Baker go by. Puts it in.
And I think that'll force the Phantoms into a timeout.
67-61 as Coach McCorn just whispered something into Villa's ear. And now Dixon throws it away. No, they call it
now
going
the
against the
will
Phantoms.
consult. They will definitely consult. The trail official thought that he saw it another way, but he yields to the official under to the lead, and the call stays the way it was made.
So 25 seconds left in that shot clock. Shot put up by Dixon. No, rebound is off. And a jump ball is called as Brian Baker was crawling all over the top of McCullough. But the Cardinals get the ball back anyway.
I was going to mention it earlier, and I'll let it go, and it bears mentioning now. I thought that there was a general operating policy in CIF that all playoff games are 3-man crews. Not that this 2-man crew hasn't done a good job, but at this level of competition, that Gerard Neely, Lou, has shown up.
Finally, 4 points here in the fourth quarter makes it 69-61. Wow. And now we have a push by who? Is
by
that going to
Neely.
be Neely?
It was easy to call.
Okay.
I mean, Neely just completely pushed the other, pushed one Phantom player into another.
And that is 9 team fouls, only the second on Gerard.
There's not a lot to talk about there. I'm not sure what Neely, in his consultation with the official, Bruce McCallum, is talking about, because that one was clear.
Could have been about the parking situation here at St. Matthias. Want to thank St. Matthias as well for allowing us to come and use their facilities. Free throw does not make it, but the rebound is taken by Robinson, but it's swatted away.
By McCullough. Good shot blocked by McCullough. Cartwright against the pressure, gets it up.
Davis has it now, going down the wing, takes a shot, won't go. Rebound is off, being
Gotta
volleyball,
pull it out.
take it to Sterling, makes in the little layup.
And it's back to a 10-point lead at 71-61. So the Cardinals appear to have weathered the storm.
Well, let's not say never yet as Dixon makes the shot. And that snaps Rufus. An 8-0 run. As Neely has it.
Got to let a little bit of air out the ball.
McCullough.
If you're going to shoot it, you got to shoot layups and not jump shots.
Davis had it, and a timeout called by Alex Acosta. Maybe he's going to tell his team that with 1:17 left to go in the ball game.
I can guarantee you that's what he's telling them. They sit right here and watch a kid shoot a jump shot when everything's going your way. You got the shot clock, you got the scoreboard, and you got the ball. You make all three work to your advantage. They gave away the advantage by taking the quick shot. Coach Acosta, after they got the offensive rebound, wisely calls a timeout to help these guys understand what you do in this situation. Leading by 8 with 1:17 to go in the game.
Jonathan Torres still on the bench, Rufus, with 4 fouls, but he also has 11 points, none in this quarter. Bryce Cartwright has been the man here in, at least on the scoreboard, in the second half. 14, check that, 13 of his 17 points are here in the second half.
Well, Bryce Cartwright's been the man throughout the whole game on both ends of the floor, not just scoring, but also he's had some beautiful passes. Unfortunately, his teammates didn't convert those opportunities.
Somebody's got to help him out. And we have a foul underneath, a push by either Dixon or by Perez.
Foul on Dixon. And that preserves, the interesting thing was that preserved the timeout for Coach Acosta, because Acosta was trying to get a timeout to preserve the possession.
This one's volleyballed out of bounds. It'll be Cardinal ball with 31 seconds left on their shot clock, Rufus. 1:08 on the game clock, and a 71-63 lead over the Cathedrals. And just 1:08 before one of these teams is going to move on.
Now, what we can't see it from this sideline, but what happens where the ball has to be inbound, there's absolutely no area. The defender is given an area where, and they make the layup. First of all, Brandon Davis with the layup.
And he makes it, finally a bunny is made, and we get back to a 10-point ball game as the ball is out of bounds. A foul is called. Dixon will go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. On the foul by Nick McCullough, that's his third personal. That'll be the double bonus, so he's going to get 2 anyway.
Well, interesting enough, here's what we see the Phantoms about to do. They're about to send in 5 guys who I don't think have been in the whole game. Very, very, very interesting coaching strategy here. I got to tell you, I'm not sure if it means that they're sending up the white flag. Boy, with 59 seconds left and only down by 9, it's still a ball game, to be honest with you.
Zaragoza coming in, and Stephen Burnaby, that's a freshman. Those are 2 sophomores, Rufus. Also,
well, there are a whole lot of guys.
Zozelenko, or a sophomore. Yep.
Zaragoza, Burnaby, and now Valdez is coming in. Okay, so he's completely swapped out his lineup and bringing in his second unit. I think I know what he's doing. He's bringing them in to foul.
A lot of fouls. There's going to be a lot of fouls. This last 59.9 seconds is going to be filled with fouls, as there you go. That was the only other thing, because you know that Sheldon McCorn is not going to give up, because here comes everybody else back in. Well, now, what did he do that for?
Well, actually, he should have left them out there, because they've got to
that's what I was saying. They still have 3 more fouls to give, right?
Now what's going to happen is that one of your key guys,
that's
you're
right.
still giving fouls.
That was on Ryan McLaughlin, who has a couple of fouls to give anyway. That's his second personal, 15th team foul.
There are 50.4 seconds left. Let's see how much time burns off between each foul.
As now Neely over to Davis.
Wow.
Davis in a track meet, lays it up and in.
Okay.
15 for Brandon Davis, makes it 75-65. And another turnover. Brandon Davis can't get it over Charles Dixon. And Davis sitting on the stage saying 8-2 Neely.
Yeah, well, and on that one, instead of the foul going one way, it goes the other way as Davis gives a foul up on the play. First he gave up the turnover and then compounded it with a foul. Fortunately for the Cardinal effort, there are 40 seconds left in the contest, and they lead by 10.
Dixon makes the first free throw, but did that strategy work for Coach McCorn and the Phantoms?
Well, no, it failed. It looked good starting out, but it had a couple of flaws in it, and it didn't work.
75-67 is the score, as now the foul is on Perez.
Now,
that's
if I'm the coach of either team, one of the things here that, I mean, the official knows that they're going to foul. You know, he's got to be a little bit quicker with that whistle. I'll tell you why. Because the only thing that happens, the kid says, I'm fouling. Okay, you're not going to call it. I touched him. Tell you what, I'm going to slap him now. Let's see if you call. No, seriously. And then, I mean, that just roughens up the circumstance a whole lot.
Neely will go to the line to shoot 2, as now they're out of fouls. Would at least get the 1-and-1, as the foul is on Perez. That's his second, 7th team foul. But for the Cardinals, Rufus, Brandon Davis, Jonathan Torres, Gerard Neely, Alfred Sterling, and Bryce Cartwright all in double figures.
Gerard Neely got it going in the 4th quarter when it counted. And he's right, Coach. It is a 1-and-1.
And he misses that one. Here comes Dixon. Dixon's going to be the one to shoot this thing, but stolen by Cartwright. Cartwright dishes it off to Davis. Davis, wanted to go for the and one. He was fouled from behind, and Perez says, I didn't even get him. But Bruce McCallum says, oh, yeah, you did. 8th team foul, 3rd personal on Perez. 75-67 is the score, and a timeout taken by the Cardinals with 25.7 seconds left to go in the ball game.
25.7 seconds left to go. Gives us a quick moment to talk about, again, hopefully not prematurely, but what's next for this Lawndale Cardinal basketball team. And basically what's next is an opportunity to go up to Oak Park, which is right next to Thousand Oaks, to take on an Oak Park basketball team that was 22-5 on the regular season. They were 8-0 in league. They play in the Tri-Valley League against teams such as Carpinteria, Bishop Diego out of Santa Barbara, Fillmore, and, of course, a team that we all know very well, St. Bonaventure.
Oh, yeah.
St. Bonaventure in basketball, not quite as good as the Sarahs are in football. They pulled up the rear of the Tri-Valley League at 9-15 overall and 1-7 in league play, and that'll give some consolation to some of our South Bay fans because they don't like to see St. Bonaventure in football.
That's right. They got some good coaching up there in that league, too. 25.7 seconds left to go for the Cardinals as Brandon Davis will go to the line to shoot 2. Brandon is 2 out of 2 from the line so far tonight, Rufus.
And he's shooting 2, but in this last 25 seconds, and just like on that last play, they've got to understand that the clock is more important than the scoreboard. They've got a sizable lead. What you want now is for the game to end. You don't need to score any more points. But you've got to hold the ball and force the clock to keep running. That was a travel.
Dixon looks like he did as Perez trying to go for 3. Neely going for the rebound. It ends up in Dixon's hands, and he puts it up and in. Dixon with 32 points in the ball game. 76-69 is the score. And there's 14.6 seconds left to go in this one, Rufus. And again, just want to thank everybody here at St. Matthias High School for hosting us, and their girls hoops coach, Bob Santisteven.
And if a lot of folks are saying, as I did a couple of weeks ago when I had to come here, as I mentioned, officiate a game, where's St. Matthias? I knew the area.
Yeah, you and I both talked
like,
about that.
Did they build a new school? This used to be Pius X, which was an all-boys school
at
one time.
Very good football team.
Absolutely. Had an excellent athletic program. Pius closed back in 1998. St. Matthias girls program, girls school came in, and it's operated under that name ever since. But it's the same facility, same campus. Only thing that's fun is to see a football field at a girls school.
That's right. I was wondering that same thing walking from the parking lot.
Yeah.
Powder Puff League.
No, but they're all ladies here. But the day I was here, I certainly saw the track team working out, and in fact saw another local team out practicing.
Perez, his 4th personal, and the 8th team foul, and Davis will get 2 more tries at the free throw, or at least 1 try at the free throw line. Makes that one. 17 points for Brandon Davis.
So, a great first win for the Cardinal program. First playoff win in their new history, their 3rd year of varsity play.
Perez for 3 with the buzzer. No, rebound is off, and can't tell from the clock. So there's 3 seconds left. Cartwright has it. He'll slow it down. Look out below.
Cartwright understood that you didn't need points, and that's the ball game.
77-69. Lawndale flies on to the next round.
And a great win by 2 very competitive Division III teams. Give Lawndale a lot of credit for taking on and defeating the 2nd place team in the Camino Real League. This Cardinal Phantom team, head coached by Sheldon McCorn. Boy, they played one good ball game, and they did give the Cardinals a good test. But they'll go down to defeat. Their season will come to an end at 14-13 overall. The Cardinals, on the other hand, they up their record now to 18-10, and they move on to the 2nd round.
All right, so that's going to do it from St. Matthias High School, and home of the Victorians, as the Cardinals are victorious. Anthony Cartwright saying that's a good game. So the kid had 17 points. Is that all right? Okay, he says, yeah, it's all right. Nothing big, but it's all right. Okay. As Bryce Cartwright, he's going to be in the running for our Holiday Inn Express and Suites Player of the Game with 17 points. Also, Nick McCullough, he was big on the boards. Chris Wash, Gerard Neely came up big when he had to. And then there was also Alfred Sterling there, who took over the second quarter with 6 big points.
Well, my vote's already in, so.
Okay, well, let's go over the scoring, and we'll chew on that and see what happens.
I'm done chewing, Bubba.
All right, well, don't get it all over us here, okay? Okay. 8 points for Nicholas Blunt, and 32 points for Charles Dixon, 20 points for Gabriel Villa, and 4 points for Brian Baker, for a total of 69 points. For the Cardinals, the victorious Cardinals, their first ever playoff win, 17 points for Brandon Davis, 11 points for Jonathan Torres, who didn't have any in the fourth quarter because he was in foul trouble, and 13 points for Gerard Neely, 11 for Alfred Sterling, 17 for Bryce Cartwright, and again he had 13 of them in the second half, and 2 points for Nick McCullough, and 2 points for Chris Wash, all in, I should say, 3 points for Chris Wash. And that was all in the second half, or check that, the first half, and none in the second half. And that's a total of 77 points for the victorious Lawndale Cardinals.
Well, again, the Cardinals come in, they do what they got to do in the first round. They come, they get a win, keeps their playoff season alive. Of course, their reward for it is, as we've said by now, a trip up to Oak Park in Ventura County. Next Tuesday night, as a matter of fact, that contest will be, and it will be at Oak Park, by the way, because Oak Park had a first-round bye, didn't play a home game, so they're the designated home team.
And I believe they're the number 3 seed in that division.
They absolutely are. I'll tell you what, though, you won't find Coach Acosta asking any questions or moaning and groaning about the fact that his team, boy, they've secured a playoff win, and they're moving on. So their championship hopes right now are very much alive.
That's right. They're looking very good. And let's go to Charity Bailey down on the floor. Oh, well, she's not ready yet. Charity Bailey has a trio of friends with her. And one of those young men, I believe, could be in the running for our player of the ball game.
I can guarantee you one of the ones that I see over there is in the running for
Okay,
it.
well, don't give it away.
Yeah.
He's going to give it away again. Now let's go over to Charity Bailey while I talk to Rufus about this.
All right, guys, I got Torres, I got Cartwright, I got Davis. Now, fellas, I got McCullough. This guy right here is always calling me out. You told us last week that we weren't showing Lawndale any love. Tell me how it feels tonight to pull out this win in the playoffs.
Well, I know we were kind of scared, and you pushed me towards the mic. I know we was kind of, nervous about the first playoff game, but we knocked it out. Now we got to worry about the next round.
All right. Now, this was the first playoff game since 1981 and the first under your head coach. How do you guys feel to be a part of that?
We're just happy to get out here and get this win. We're trying to keep it pushing and keep Lawndale up and, put Lawndale on the map. Let everybody know we're a force to be reckoned with, especially next year, baby. Watch out for us.
All right. Now, you were all over the place tonight chasing balls. Tell me about how you feel out there on the court.
I feel like I should just let it all out because it's no tomorrow for us. So, we going home. If we go home, at least I know that we tried. That's how I feel.
All right, now along with Torres, you put up 18 points, or you had a lot of three-pointers, but you also put up 18 points. Your coach told me that you guys were not favored to win this game. How did it feel to be the underdog and come in and win?
Well, it felt good to me. All I got to say is I thank the Lord. That's all I got to say.
We got that W.
All right, so what do you want to say to your upcoming opponent?
Watch out for us, man. Don't see us as no underdog. You better be ready.
All right, you've been warned. Be ready for Lawndale because here they come. Back to you.
All right, no billboard material. That's what I have to say is the Cardinals are flying high after that big win, 70, if I can read here, 77-69. Rufus, the Cardinals
after they gave up a 13-5 run to open up that fourth quarter, closed it out, kind of shut the door on the Phantoms with a 10-2 run of their own.
They certainly did. And the main part of that 10-2 run, of course, was Gerard Neely getting on track. The other thing out of what those guys said, that's a part of coaching. And we're going to go to Coach Acosta, and I'll develop that point in a moment, who's down with Charity Bailey.
All right, guys, I have Coach Acosta down here. Coach, you told me earlier today when we spoke that you guys weren't favored to win, so you were just going to come out here and play your game. How did you stay in your game tonight?
I think we executed pretty well. We knew that the middle of the key was going to be pretty open, so we tried to attack it. Other than not making a whole lot of baskets in there, I thought we played well. We just didn't shoot well.
All right, now there were a lot of foul calls. How do you keep your guys going, their intensity moving, when the refs are blowing the whistles like that?
Well, we let them get into the paint, and once you let them get into the paint, they're going to call a foul if you reach. So we got to do a better job of containing the ball outside of the key. And we didn't do that tonight.
All right. Now, lastly, being the underdog, how do you feel about pulling out this win and stepping into the next round of playoffs?
Oh, it's great. It's great to win a game in the playoffs. You know, this is basically our second year. We don't have any kid who's played more than 2 years of basketball. So to be in our second year and to get into the second round of the playoffs is just, it's great. We're excited, and we're happy to be going to Oak Park Friday.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, guys. They'll be going on to Oak Park on Friday, and we'll see what they have. You said it right, Rufus, when you said it's playoffs, baby. Win or go home. So they won tonight. They'll be at Oak Park next week. Back to you.
And Rufus,
well, I was going to say, Coach Acosta is sticking with his story. You know the old line, that's my story, I'm sticking with it.
Right.
Max Preps had Lawndale favored to win this game, even though Cathedral was second in their league, 14-12 overall.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And they had them favored to win by almost 9 points, nearly double digit, and that's almost what they pulled off. So, in spite of the claim that they were the underdog, that got his players motivated, but folks in the know tended to think that Lawndale was the better team, and they showed
the better
themselves
athletes.
to be that.
Had the better athletes, and I tell you what, though, the coaching and the experience of this Phantom team really gave them a ball game, and it was a game of runs, and it was such a tough ball game that it really didn't seem like the point spread was that much.
It didn't. There were a lot of Phantom calls, and it was a bonanza for Cartwright tonight. So, with that, you know, what can you say? The Cardinals come out with the win.
If I do say something, we'll be off the air. There won't be any games on Friday. And let me tell you, Tom Strickfaden is really looking forward to Friday. I'm looking forward to Friday, too, Hoss.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Why are we keeping the folks in suspense?
Oh,
we
okay.
need to give them the player of the game.
Well, first of all, before we do that, why don't I tell the people this, because we haven't did we do this? No, we didn't do this. Channels 22 Sports would like to thank our sponsors, Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites South Bay, the South Bay Workforce Investment Board, and Ralph's Food for Less for their generous support in making these games possible. Speaking of the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, we have our player of the game to announce, and I know who mine is. His number equals 6. He had 17 on the floor. And I told you he was going to warm up in the second half, and he did.
Well, I was originally going to go with another guy, but you persuaded me. I'm going with Bryce Cartwright. That was my choice all along as well. I think that was pretty unanimous. Now, Bryce, the sophomore stepping in, though, had a huge game. Took him a couple of possessions to get his feet under him, but, boy, once he got his feet under him, pinpoint passing, feeding the post, finding a hole in the zone. I mean, and he was making the feeds. His teammates didn't convert early, so then he started putting it up himself, and, boy, had a big game and
Certainly
really
did.
ran the offense for the Cardinals.
And he was in there a lot during the 32 minutes. I don't know. He probably was in there at least 28 of the 32 minutes, maybe even more than that.
Certainly was.
And also took a couple of shots to the chops, so showing some toughness. And he had to because his dad was here, and his dad was screaming and yelling louder than anyone else. So it was good to see Anthony Cartwright here, and along with Hoss. I'm Hop Singh.
All right,
and we're going to get cooking here.
All right.
And we're going to tell you about the cavalcade of games we have coming up here this weekend. What do you think?
I think we need to, because we've got so many. That's a good thing. And we also need to mention that just for the fans in the viewing area, this is certainly the first time in the illustrious history of Hawthorne Lawndale Community Cable Channel 22 that we've ever had all three teams in the playoffs simultaneously.
It's a good problem.
That's Lawndale, Lusinger, and Hawthorne. All right, all three, and we were able to show Lawndale some love tonight, and Friday night we'll somehow or another get it done where the fans will get to see both games.
Well, you and I aren't going to be cloned, and the world thanks us for that. But Tom Strickfaden is going to clone the production crew, and so you will be with Mark Keller at, or Mark Helmer, I should say, who helped us out at the North High School game when the Lawndale's girls played against North, at Lusinger High School. And I'll be with Beto Duran at Hawthorne High School when Hawthorne takes on Elsinore from the Sun Belt League, the #2 team in the Sun Belt League. And the winner of that game will go on to play the winner of Cathedral and Corona. And the Lusinger bracket, what game are you going to be calling?
In the Lusinger bracket, well, they've got a a wild card game, and it's according to what you're showing me here, the C wild card, although I think it's the D wild card game of Montclair and Vista Murrieta, and the winner of that one. Is that correct?
I believe so.
All right. Well, no, I stand corrected. It was the C wild card, as it shows here. So it's the C wild card, Esperanza and San Clemente.
So that should
one of
be
those
a good
two
game.
teams will play Lusinger on Friday night. They also are playing tonight, so we're not sure whom the winner of that is. But
at any rate, you'll be playing. Lusinger will be playing either Esperanza or San Clemente.
They will be playing them. Well,
Okay.
well, we're gonna amend it one more time, Lou. We're actually right. It's Murrieta of Vista Murrieta of Montclair.
Okay.
If we read it correctly, got to go by the lines. That line there goes with that line there.
It's
Okay,
D.
so it's the D.
Okay.
But the good thing is they'll be playing at Lusinger, which is a tremendous advantage, and of course the Olympians, the #4 seed in Division I AA.
And Hawthorne's Cougars, of course, they get in by winning the Ocean League, and they'll be playing Elsinore, and that's where I'll be with Beto Duran. So until Friday night, this is Lou Stowers for Charity Bailey and Rufus Washington telling you the final score once again from the St. Matthias basketball court. It was the Lawndale Cardinals 77 and the Cathedral Phantoms 69. Until Friday night, so long. The preceding presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week was brought to you in part by a generous donation from the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, South Bay. The Holiday Inn Express is partnering with Channel 22 Sports to help promote our young people in sports competition and academics so that everyone in our community wins. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites. Stay smart. The preceding presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week was brought to you in part by a generous donation from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board is working together with Channel 22 Sports to promote an environment where everyone can maximize their career potential and so that all employers have the human resources they need to grow and prosper. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board. When you need us, we are there for you. The preceding presentation of the Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from Ralph's Food for Less, the nation's premier price impact supermarket chain. Food for Less is proud to be working with the community to enhance the lives of everyone by providing a diverse selection of products and customer service and by reaching out to support the communities in which we serve.